and let me know when you admit everyone.
There's no admit thing like on our
Okay,
other things. It just I'm showing two, three, five attendees.
great. Wait, is that us?
No, besides us, there's four panelists, five attendees.
Amazing.
They need to be clicked allowed to talk in order for them to talk to us.
Okay, cool.
So do you want me to do that?
I do not.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to a very exciting evening. This is Cookie Execs uh, and Adobe's first partnership. I'm very excited to say that Girl Scouts of Greater New York has partnered with the fabulous Adobe Express to come up with three really wonderful new templates for cookie executives to use exclusively on Digital Cookie this year. We are the pilot program. We are the first in the country to use these, and I could not be happier to now turn this meeting over to Courtney Watson, who is going to walk us through everything we need to know about Adobe. Don't worry about this if you miss something. It is being recorded, and the recording and the deck will be sent to you along with all the links you need to make this all happen. Again, thank you so, so much for joining us. And Courtney, welcome to the Girl Scouts of Greater New York and our Cookie Executive Committee.
Well, thank you so much. I am, I must say, super excited to be here to share these great templates with everybody. I just pulled up my clock so I can keep us on track. And if you heard Michael, then we are good to go. So, again, welcome, Girl Scouts Greater New York chapter. We're calling this your introduction to Adobe Express. As he mentioned, I'm Courtney Watson. I'm a lead learning guide with Fried Tech, and we are a learning partner with Adobe. So that's what brings me to share all the wonderful things about Adobe with you all this evening. Now, I want to make sure that we talk a little bit about Adobe Express. So, Adobe Express, you may have heard of Adobe before. It has things like Photoshop. You maybe see it when you're online searching for photos and things like that. But what it is a great creation tool that you can utilize, and that's everybody. Students, adults, everybody can access Adobe Express, but Adobe Express for Education is especially created for students in K through 12. You can create all these different amazing products. You can start from scratch. You can be as creative as you want to be, and you can start from templates. One of my personal favorites, because you can start from something that somebody has already got going for you that is laid out well, and then just make some customizations to make it your own. So, just a little bit so I can tell you about Adobe Express, and I'm going to pop over and open that for you. So this is what it will look like for the most part. This is the education version. The additional version that is also free, I'll show you how to create that account in just a moment. Just doesn't have as many buttons, but it does have every single thing that you can do over here in that version as well. But you can create all types of things. You can build a web page. You can create videos. So maybe you want to tell a story, but you want to make it visual. So you can add images. You can add additional videos to the video that you're making. You can do amazing backgrounds. They have all these different fun text layouts. You can build your own website. You can create a podcast. All of these things are available in Adobe Express. One of my favorites, we won't see it today, but there's one called Animate a Character where you can even take a cartoon character and then speak with your actual voice. So again, these are different types of products that you can create. They're amazing for projects, again, whether it's for school or for personal use or for use with the Girl Scouts. So whether you are a daisy or an ambassador, the platform is definitely designed for everybody to be easy and to be safe. And so what I mean by that, I want to point out a couple of things. They call these like the playground buttons because just at a click, you click on one and you're right into the editor to go and start to create those different items. It does work. It has all access for everybody. So whether you are a public school student, private school, homeschool, you can still create, like I mentioned, your Adobe Express account. And then also it is available for caregivers at our favorite price of free 90 free. And we'll have those instructions, as Michael mentioned, for you to create your account in that way if you need to as well. Now, Adobe Express, though, is going to be a game changer for Girl Scouts of Greater New York because it's going to turn every Girl Scout into a professional level designer. You're going to be a storyteller in your entrepreneur journey. So, through this special partnership, what we have for you is getting this like creative head start for your cookie season. Now, I mentioned that you can start from scratch, but you can also start from templates. And I want to talk just a little bit about why you might want to use a template. So this is just a quick little test that says, who are they? And I know we are in a webinar, so we don't have chat. We do have the Q&A. So if you're watching live and you want to drop this answer in, when you see these pictures come up on the screen, I want you to type into that Q&A and let me know who they are. Because I want to talk just a little bit about brands and why brands are super important. So, and like I said, if you want to, I'll just give y'all just a moment to let me know if you recognize any of these. Okay, I see one from Tamika and one
Hmm.
says Nike, and exactly correct. And I'm wondering, and you don't have to answer me this question actually, but just think about it. How do we know that was Nike, right? Because when we see this swoosh, what do we think? We think Nike, we think just do it, we think of being an athlete. That's branding. That's brand awareness, right? And somebody also mentioned, a couple people said McDonald's. 100%. There's no burger. There are no French fries. But when you see those golden arches, you know that it's McDonald's. So that's what you want to think about when we're talking about branding. It's like a mental shortcut. If a brand is strong, you don't have to see the name to know what it is, right? So it's just that superpower of being famous. So, saying that to say, same is going to hold true when you're thinking about Girl Scouts and Girl Scouts of Greater New York. People buy the cookies because they recognize that Girl Scout brand. It's good, it's safe, it's empowering. I threw a couple pictures up here. If you were walking outside of a store and you saw a stranger with a brown box selling cookies, would you just run up and say, let me get a box of those cookies? Probably not, right? You might be thinking more along the lines of, is this safe? Who made these? Compared to when you all wear your uniform and use it, couple it with your Adobe professional templates for your digital marketing, that's going to be your brand awareness for Girl Scouts of Greater New York. People are going to look at it and say, I know these, I want to help support her goals. So, since we've talked just a bit about that brand awareness, like I mentioned, people already know the Girl Scouts. They like them. They trust the Girl Scouts. You're not just selling a cookie, you're selling that Girl Scout experience. So, this is an example of one of the social media posts that you're going to be able to customize over inside of Adobe Express. So, this is why this wonderful partnership is super special. This is set up for your cookie launch. Adobe and the Girl Scouts of Greater New York have teamed up to create 3 exclusive templates, especially for your 2026 cookie season and the new Explore More cookie. So here's what you're going to have. When I mentioned those professional templates, you're not starting from scratch. You're going to have some specially designed layouts that you can use for social media posts, for flyers, and also for thank you cards. Okay. Um, they are already pre-populated with your Girl Scout logos. It has the correct colors. You've got cookie images in there that you can choose from and make some changes in there. Now, here's how this will work. After our meeting, you will receive an email from the Girl Scouts of Greater New York. It is going to include all the templates, all the instructions for logging in and or creating you an account. I'm going to walk you through that though in a few moments, but you will have everything you need to create, customize while sticking with that Girl Scout brand. All righty. I'm going to pause and make sure that there were no questions popping in. So the first thing I want to make sure we hit is what it's going to look like, how you're going to access Adobe Express. So we have a couple of options. And so first option is going to be if you are a student in NYC public schools. If so, you already have access to Adobe Express through your Teach Hub portal. So these are going to be the instructions for accessing Adobe Express that way. So you will just go to your Teach Hub portal. In that portal, there is usually a little search bar. So you're going to look for that and you can type in Adobe. And as you start to type it in, it should start to sort of populate the tiles. And you're looking for, we like to call this the rainbow A. That's the symbol for Adobe Express. You'll just click on that Adobe Express tile. It's going to take your login information that's tied to New York City Public Schools, so your Teach Hub, and drop you over into Adobe Express. So again, these are the instructions for folks who are enrolled in NYC Public Schools. Okay. Now, remember I said we have access for everybody. So if you are not in NY Public Schools and you need to create an account, that's okay. Adobe Express has everything you're going to need. Now, here's how this one will work. In the email that sends everything to you after our time together, you will have a link. It is to like a getting started page for Adobe Express. On that page, you're going to look for the Get Adobe Express link, and that is going to drop you onto this page. Then you'll be looking for this area right here where it says New User, Create an Account. So when you click on that Create an Account button, It is going to drop you over for your final step of deciding how you want to log in. You have two options. You can either just use a single sign-on method. My favorite, if you have a Google account or you have a Facebook account, you can just quickly link your username and password and sign in that way. Or you can add an email address, create a password, and then click continue. It's like a wizard on any most things that we sign up for when we create new accounts. It will walk you through the steps, and then it will drop you over into your Adobe Express account. So you just need to make sure you do one of these two. If you're enrolled in New York Public Schools, access through the Teach Hub portal. And if not, you or your caregiver, depending on how old you are. If you're younger and parents need to create the account, that's completely fine. Go over and create your free account on Adobe Express, and you'll be good to go there. Okay, I'm going to take a pause. I want to remember to mention too, when we're talking about these accounts, please do know that you can access Adobe Express from all devices. So if you're on a computer, if you're on a phone, if you're on a tablet, there is an app for both iOS and Android. So for phones and tablets, it looks very similar to the computer experience. I'll be doing the computer experience, of course, today, but just know that it's going to be a pretty similar experience with the app, save for a few small differences. Okay. And again, don't fret because you're going to have this video to kind of walk you back through this, and I think these images are going to come to you as well. Okie doke. So let's talk about those templates. Why we're here. You are going to have these special Girl Scouts of Greater New York templates to make you look and present as the professional CEO that you are, right? All right. Again, you have social media graphics, a flyer, and a thank you card. So let's start. I'm going to walk you through. Let's get in here and create. We're going to do the social media post first. I said I was going to pop over to Adobe Express. Again, in your email, you are going to get 3 links for these 3 templates. So this first link for the social media post, I'm going to let this screen stay here for a moment. Now it dropped me on like page 3. That's okay. But what you have here is you can get a preview of this particular template. But the most important button is going to be right up here in this right-hand corner, and it says Remix. So remember, you have signed in to your Adobe Express account. Then you want to go and click on that link in your email. If it goes away, just kind of hover your mouse. It will pop back up in that right-hand corner, and you want to click that Remix button. So let me talk to you just a little bit about Adobe Express now that we're in here. It's going to drop you into the editor in Adobe Express. So I showed you what the home page looks like, but when you click that remix button, you'll be right here inside of the editor, ready to customize your template. You can go ahead and take a look through if you want to, but let me tell you what the instructions are kind of on this landing page. This again is for the social media post. Says it's as easy as eating a cookie. You are going to copy your cookie. So you have your cookie options here. And then your next of instructions is to swap them out, and then you can download and share. The social media post is probably the quickest one for you to make. Let me show you your options. So here's the first option. Invest in the future. Girl Scout cookies make great gifts. Has this lovely blue background. We have this one with purple. Invest in the future. Share extra joy today. You've got unbox the future. They get a treat and we change the world. Win-win. Purple, one of my favorites. It's cookie time. Girl Scout cookie season is the perfect excuse to share cookies with those you love. The blue background, the future is sweet. Share extra joy today. And then we also have the brown, which is unbox the future. Girl Scout cookies make great gifts. So again, here's your process for the social media post. You are going to decide which cookie you want to use, and we're going to add it to the template of your choice. Now, how do you work this over here in Adobe Express? I am going to go with the Explore More. And all I did was select it. Here's a little note about Adobe Express. I'm going to click away from it. Here's something that I think makes Adobe Express super easy to use. Whenever I select anything that I can make edits to, it opens up the little editing panel for me on the left-hand side. Now, I don't need to make any adjustments to this, but I just wanted you to know that that's what happens. So you see, I can click. I have a box that kind of highlights what's on the page, but I just give it a click once I'm ready, and then I can copy it. One of two ways. You can come up here to, we call these the drama dots, because if you see dot, 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 when people are typing, they're being dramatic. But the ellipsis right here is your more button. So you can come here and click copy. Or if you like to use keyboard shortcuts, you can select it and hit Control plus the letter C on your keyboard. If you're on a Mac, it'll be Command and C. So you can either, again, 3 dots, copy. you can Control C to copy. You won't see anything, but I promise it happens. And also, you can right click and hit copy. But once it's copied, all you have to do is go over to the template that you want to use. I tend to favor this blue with the yellow, a couple of my favorite colors. And then I am going to do on my keyboard, Control plus the letter V, V as in Victor, to paste. And there's my cookie. It drops it onto my page. Now, it's over here on the side. All I need to do is grab it, move it over. Hopefully y'all can see there's like a little guideline in there. I'm going to use that to kind of help me. Let me zoom in a bit for y'all. Now, cookie's kind of small, so when it's selected, when this box is around it, I can make some adjustments. I recommend using the circles in those corners because that's going to resize it, but keep it proportional, okay? So I'm just going to resize it and then move it again to kind of center it. Let me take the zoom down just a little bit. All right, and so I'm going to use it to, here's my center there, and there we go. So now I know my cookie is centered. And that's it for our social media post. Now, you have several options. So maybe you want to choose a different page and go and grab another cookie. That's completely fine. I will grab, let's do this one. And again, I'm going to right click and copy. And I'm going to pop over and sorry about that. Let's see. I lost my clock. Come over and just do Control V to paste. Same process. Give it a little resize and then use my guidelines to get it centered on my page. Now, next steps. How do you get this social media post out of Adobe Express? Right up here at the top, you're looking for this arrow that's pointing down, and it's your download button. When you hit download, since I have one page selected, it defaulted over here to selected page. If you didn't see that, you can always just hit that little toggle. You do want to have it as a PNG. That's probably going to be your best bet. And then you just hit download. So I'm going to hit download now. It is going to go wherever your downloads go. If you are on a computer, it goes to your downloads folder on your computer. If you're going to be accessing from, say, a tablet or a phone, it will download to wherever your photos are probably stored. It will walk you through that process of downloading that photo. One other thing I want to tell you about the social media post before I scoot away. You have a button here in Adobe Express. It's in the bottom right corner. It looks like we're going to call it the waffle, and it's the View All Pages button because we have 7 different pages. So I just wanted you to see that because if you ever want to kind of see all of your pages at one glance, this is a way to make that happen. And then another helpful tip, if you wanted to maybe name it so that you'll know which one it is if you create more than one. So I'm going to call this one the Explore More. Is it with an S or without an S? So I'm going to call it the Explore More So, and then I'm going to call this one, whoops, I don't know if it'll allow apostrophe, so I'm just going to call it I'm a leader. We won't do spaces. And then to get back to just the individual page, you can just give it a double click. And I'm going to show you why I did that. So now if I hit download, I believe I downloaded the Explore More. So let's hit download. Again, selected page, download. But you see, now I have my title saved as a part of my image. So I know which one it is when I go to look for it. This reminded me too, this is just good habits and I did not do it. So get into the habit when you create something new in Adobe Express, right up here in this black bar where it says file, the default is going to be untitled and the date and the time. You want to go ahead and name it. So this is going to be my, I'm going to say GS social media post. Okay. And just hit enter. Everything saves automatically. So you don't have to worry about a save button. So as you're working, things are being saved for you. And so now I have it saved as the GS social media post. And then if I were to download it again, I would see that as my title. Okay. So that's the process for downloading. How do you then share this out? Your social media option. Sharing to social media, whether that's whichever social media you and your family decide to use. There's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's TikTok. That's going to be something that you do with your parents. Just keep in mind that all of those different platforms look a little bit different depending on if you are on a computer, if you're doing it from your phone, and things like that. But you're going to be looking to make a post, looking for that create button, and just uploading your photo and adding your caption to share out about your 2026 cookie season. Questions for me on that? We will have a full Q&A, so I'm just going to give it a pause. And I'm going to walk us through the other 2 templates. Alrighty. I'm going to leave this one open just to be on the safe side. So again, in your email, you will have a link. It's going to be the same. It's going to be that remix link. You could scroll through and see the different pages, but again, looking for that blue remix button in that upper right-hand corner. And this one's going to open up and it's a little bit different. We have a couple of other things we can do to customize for the flyer. Remember, right up here, we want to go ahead and give it a name. So I'm going to call this GS Flyer. And here are instructions for this one. Again, you're going to be able to choose your cookie, but now you're also going to have the option to add some text and add in your digital cookie link QR code. Now, let me show you. I say show you, you have your digital cookie platform. So in there, you have your QR code that will send people directly to your cookie site to make their purchases. So what you're going to be able to do is you're going to look for right underneath the QR code, you have the first button, it's the copy button. It looks like maybe it's a copy of a piece of paper. So this is your copy button. So if you click that button, it's just like hitting Control C or right clicking and clicking the word copy over in Adobe Express when we copied our cookies. So you will just hit that copy button and then you can go and paste your QR code inside of Adobe Express. That's option number one. You also have this, I like to call it the Sharo because it's an arrow that usually when you click it, it's all the ways you can share something. So this Sharo, I don't have, of course, an account in your platform, but that Sharo usually has an option to download. So that is your other option. If the copy for some reason does not work, hit that Sharo, see if there's a way to download your QR code, because then it's just an image and you can also upload that over into Adobe Express as well. Okay. All right. So, but you're going to hit that copy button. But for our purposes, I am going to pop back over to my flyer and hang on. I have a little faux site that I made so that I could use it to demonstrate with you all. All right, so I'm going to paste my little site in here. Okay. So again, here are you have a couple of options. You have this one that again you can come in and change your cookie. You can add in your text in a few different places, and then you also have the spot to add your QR code. And then you have your second version, which has that sort of a green background, and then again the same spots to go in and make those changes. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab the QR code. I think that's the biggest step in this one is getting your QR code. So again, from your site, you will just go over there. You all are going to be able to, again, click that copy button. Let's give it a zoom here. You'll be able to click that copy button. I am going to copy mine from my pretend site. Okay. And then you can just come over and I am going to delete. So I just selected it and then it brought up this little menu right here and I'm going to hit delete. And then I am going to do Control V. Well, let's click on our canvas, Control V, and now we can paste it. So here's my QR code that I just copied from my site, and then I can just move it over. Same way we did with the cookie, I can give it a little bit of a resize, okay? And set that. A couple of things to remember. They have some instructions to help you that says, oh, swap out with your digital cookie link. We don't need that on the flyer when we send it out. So just select it and hit delete. Same thing with the little arrow, just give it a click and hit delete either on the keyboard or hit that little trash can, and you're good to go with your QR code. Suggestion, since right now it's still copied, I'm going to go ahead and put it on both versions just in case. So Control V to paste, and then I can add it. Alrighty. And then I'm going to delete my little instructions. And now I'm ready to make my additional changes. All righty. So the other things, remember that you can do, you can swap out your cookie. So I am going to pop back over to page one. I'm going to use let's use this one. So I'm going to select it. We'll hit my three dots and do copy. I'm going to come back over to the one I'm working on. I'm going to, let's see. If you click outside in the gray space, it will let you right click and paste. So just be careful with that. When if you notice I tried to right click over here and it wouldn't let me right click, that's okay. I just clicked over here in this kind of open area and gave it a right click and I can paste. And then there's my cookie. Now I left the original cookie there on purpose. I wanted to show you something. So I'm going to take the one that I want to add and I'm going to use that cookie that's there sort of as a template, as a guide. So I'm going to sort of resize this And you're probably like, but I don't want that other cookie back there. And that's okay. Here's a little Adobe Express tip. As you're building inside of Adobe Express, they have something called layers. You're just building like you're making a sandwich, putting down the bottom piece of bread. So the first picture that you put in there is the bottom, the next piece of text is on top, and then you just keep building. This is your layers panel over here on this right-hand side. Okay. And I love the layers panel. Let me show you what it looks like in case it's ever closed. So it's right here. Okay. And you can just open it back up. But I love the layers panel because sometimes you can't click on something and maybe something's on top of it, but you can find it over here in the layers panel. So I'm going to go in here and look for that original cookie that's already there somewhere. Did I pass it up? Where are you hiding, cookie? There it is. It's so tiny. All right. So it's there. And you're probably like, how do you know it's there? But I know because it changed what was selected. And now if I hit delete, see the cookie that was behind it is gone. And then my other cookie is there, but sized and ready to go. Now for text, remember I said when you select something, it opens that editing panel for you over on that side. All you have to do, it says the money we help earns us. Give it a double click and you're ready to add your new text. If it's not all selected and you just see the cursor, let me add my zoom here for you. You can always just click and drag to highlight everything, but you just want to highlight all of add your new text and then delete it out and you can put in your sentence. Let's see. I'm going to say it helps us do fun activities as a troop. We're going to leave the fonts because those have been selected to go along with our branding, right? So we're going to keep it the same font. Now let's talk about the sizing. Let me take the zoom out just a little bit. So you notice that when it started typing, it's a little bit longer. It's kind of past my line. A couple of things. When it's selected, I could come over here and adjust the size, but I like to, again, just use these corners because that will adjust the size as well. But also I can just click and drag to sort of move it over. Okay. I'll do this one as well. What is another thing that it helps us to do? Let's say it helps us develop our business skills. Oops, I hit enter, so I'm just going to put that back. You just want to make sure my cursor is in there because it wants me to type. So again, I just like to kind of click out in the gray space, and then I can just click and drag to move it over. Using my guidelines, now I know it's centered, and we have our personal goals to sell. I'm going to go big or go home. I'm going for 500 packages. That's kind of tiny, and my goal is big. So I'm just going to make my number a little bit bigger. You kind of see that crosshairs. That's how you know you can you can move it around. If you see that little icon, it wants me to type. If I get right on the edge, I'll see those crosshairs and I can move it around. And again, also resize it. And you're good to go. Choose a cookie, add in your new text, and add in your cookie site QR code, and you are ready to download your flyer. You'll be able to print it out, share it. Now, let's hit download. It does say PNG. That's totally fine. Some of them, if they ever say you have some options in here, if it says PDF, you can just leave it as PDF or you can switch it to PNG. I wanted to make sure I showed you that. And then you just hit download. And again, if you wanted to do both of the templates, you can make adjustments there. If you want to make a few different versions, here's something else that you can do. When you are looking at one of these pages, if I hit the little three dots, when I'm hovering over a page, I have an option to duplicate. And actually, I'm going to duplicate this one that already has my changes. So I'm going to select it, three dots, duplicate, and now I can just go in and switch my cookie. So maybe I'll do it with this cookie, Control C to copy. I'll come here, Control V to paste, make my adjustments, and then delete that other cookie. And I can download that one. All righty. Okay, that is the flyer. Make sure I didn't forget anything for you. All right, let's hit the thank you card. It is going to be a very similar process to your flyer because the thank you card has a place for you to add your own text, and it's also going to have a place for you to add in your QR code. We know that process now, so I will hit that remix button. It will open up for us. We will go ahead and name it. This is the thank you card. I'm going to go ahead and grab a cookie. No, let's do it this way. Let me show you what we have. It's set up for you to have 4 to a page so that you'll be able to, when you download it and print it out, you'd be able to cut and have 4 different thank you cards per page. So I'm going to go ahead again. I suggest knock out your QR code first, just because it is the one that you'll have to pop over to your site to grab it. So again, let me copy my pretend site so I can get my QR code for you. There we go. All right, so you'll just pop over to your site like we did earlier. You'll copy your code and then come over. I'm going to just go ahead and delete this one out and then hit Control V to paste. I'm going to bring in my code, size it to the size that I think works. Don't forget to delete those extra instructions. I'm going to get rid of my arrow, get rid of my instructions there. I'm going to get this just the size that I want it to be. And then since it's already sized for my cards, I'm going to go ahead and copy this new version and I'll paste that to put on these other 3 cards. So first, I'm going to go ahead and delete the rest of these pieces. Here's a little tech tip. You can click multiple options at one time. So you can select one, hold down your Shift key on your keyboard, and you can continue to click other pieces. So you see I have all 3 of those. Now if I hit delete, they're all gone. So same process, click, hold down Shift, and click to move. I'll select all of those and hit delete. All right, so now, like I said, this is already sized. This is my QR code I pulled from my site. I sized it to the card. So now I'm going to do copy and then click paste. And so I have it already perfectly sized. And now I can just continue to hit Control V to paste and use my guidelines to make sure it's centered and lined up on my cards. I hope that makes sense. When we have the Q&A, y'all please feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Boop. Okay. All right. So we have that added in, and then you'll just need to add in your text. Your purchase helped me. And I'm going to say, reach my second week sales goal. All right. And I'm period, because that will be the end of my sentence. Now, you may be noticing that I typed that text in there and it is way too long. It's hanging across our little, what will be our cut line when we print. So remember, you can always just click outside of it so you're not in there to make changes to it, and then give it a single click and you can move it over. But then also don't forget, use those little circles, give it a resize, and then you can help it fit there. Another thing, you have the line that we are putting our text on. It's just a line. So if you need to bring that down a little bit, because maybe your sentence that you add to your thank you card, maybe you have a little more to say than I do, that's completely fine. You can add that in and then again just kind of give it a resize and move that line down if you need a little more room. So again, time saver. Once you have your thank you statement, I could come over here, double click, retype my text, but I can also just Control C to copy my text box, and then Control V to paste it, and then add it to my cards. Does that make sense to everybody? Control V to paste. Come out of my Zoom a bit so I can see everything. And one more. And bring it over here. We're going to delete that one and add in mine. And then we're ready to go. We are ready to hit download, and you'll have your thank you cards there. Okay? So popping back, here's what you can expect. You are going to receive an email from Girl Scouts of Greater New York. That email is going to include login instructions for both NYC public school students and then also for caretakers if you need to create your own account. That email is going to include the 3 remix links for your specially designed Girl Scout of Greater New York templates and a recording of this video once it finishes rendering. So if you need to see anything else again, we're going to do a Q&A if you have some questions for those who are here with us live. Michael, go ahead.
Absolutely. But before we get to the Q&A, Courtney, let me thank you so much. That was an amazing presentation, and we are so excited uh, to use these templates. Thank you so much for walking us step by step.
Of
Uh,
course.
an amazing job. Okay, if anyone has any questions, please type them in the Q&A.
And while we're waiting on those questions, let me remind you of one other thing. Just remembered I have one more little slide here. If, as you get going, I mentioned you're going to have that email that has all of these great links, there will also be an email address in that link. And that's a help email for Adobe Express. When you get going with this, and if there's anything that is Adobe Express is doing something kind of weird, Adobe Express is waiting. They are so excited about this partnership with Girl Scouts of Greater New York. They want to make sure that everything works just fine. So utilize this email, k12us@adobe.com. And there's somebody, it's a live person. I always like to tell people that it's not going like off into just the internet somewhere. There's a person waiting over there to answer your questions. Okay. All right, go ahead. I saw we did get a
So
question.
we did get one question. It says, you mentioned public school students. What
Mhm.
if the Girl Scout doesn't attend public school?
Exactly. So let me pop back over. And so you will have, and Michael, correct me, I believe in the email, they have these images as well, but if not, they'll have the video for sure. Okay. So,
Yes, we can absolutely, if you would share the deck with us, we can
okay.
absolutely send the images with them.
Will do. So you have two options. You have instructions for public school students because they will use Teach Hub, but then you also have the instructions, sorry, for if you are a caretaker and just need to go and create an Adobe Express account. There will be a link that is included in your email instructions. It's a Get Started with Adobe Express page, and you will be navigating there to then go in and create your account. So it's still, again, our favorite price. We love Adobe Express. It's free 90 free. So you'll just make your account with Adobe Express and then go back to your email, click on that remix link, and the templates and everything will work the exact same way. Great question.
Does anyone else have anything for Courtney? All right. In that case, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. We cannot wait to see what you come up with, and we are all looking forward to it. Please share it with us as well so that we can share it with our friends at Adobe. All right. Good night, everyone.
Thank y'all. Have a good one. Bye bye.